In this video, I'm going to show you how to go from this to this. What's up, boys and girls? It's your boy Melly K back with yet another video. On my channel, I teach people how to edit photos in Lightroom and Photoshop, as well as providing some shooting tips for photography in general. So it's October now, which means Halloween is just around the corner. So I figured, hey, why don't we do a Halloween edit? Now, I know I'm supposed to do the neon edit, but I figured this is more urgent because it is coming around Halloween and I want to give people at least 2 weeks to go out and shoot, maybe a week, and then spend a week on editing or doing whatever. So that's why I prioritize this video first. I apologize, but I swear the next one will be how I edit neon photos. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so I've got a photo here of Selena. This was taken at another Good Shot Mate event. I should really do my own shoots. I've just been so lazy. Anyways, this was taken at Gardens of Tiev Tara. I think that's what it's called. And so we found like this playground where there was a lot of kids' toys just lying around, and like there was a doll that was all like scuffed up, arms all twisted and whatnot. And I figured, whoa, hang on. Whatever Selena's wearing right now actually really plays to the whole eerie vibe. And so I got her to sort of just do a pose with the doll itself and maybe position some of the toys around her to give that weird playground feel. That's at least what popped up in my head. Anyway, so I've already done the dodging and burning for the skin retouching for this image. What dodging and burning is, it's basically a high-end skin retouching technique. If you want to check out more, I have made a video. I'll put a link in the description below or a card here for you to click through. So I think the first thing what I'm going to do is the green is too lively, or green usually means life or like something living. I'm going to desaturate it. Maybe make it a bit more gray, not too much because otherwise it looks too fake. And then maybe give it that really dead vibe. So we're gonna go to adjustments, hue and saturation. And then what I'm gonna do is I am gonna go to the greens and I'm gonna bump up the saturation all the way. Then I'm gonna hold this little tab and slide it to the left to see what colors I'm affecting. So I don't want to affect too much, but I want to at least pick up all the leaves, or most of it, and definitely all the grass. Now I'm going to drop back the saturation to 0. Next, I am going to drop the saturation a bit lower and shift the hues. Next, I don't want the toys behind it to be too vibrant, but I also don't want to blow it away either, because otherwise it looks too unrealistic when it's just a single color background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the individual ones, such as the blues. Going to wind down the saturation of those, but not too much. And I'm going to go into reds and bring down the saturation as well. And then this bit here, I'm going to go cyan. And also, actually, I'll just change the hue for this one and drop the saturation. Now, you'll notice that it's affecting Selena herself as well and the toys. So I'm gonna go to the mask, select the brush tool, 100% normal. And then I'm just gonna go select black, and then I'm just gonna mask her out. Yeah, I'm gonna flip it back to white, and then I'm just gonna go over her shoulders. Now, because she's wearing white, we don't actually have to be too precise with what we're masking out, because you can't tell the difference anyways. Again, we're only affecting the greens here. Actually, I'm also going to change the yellows. And then I'm going to call this background HSL. Next, we're going to look at the eyes. So I figured it would look really cool if we can black out Selena's eyes and then give her a yellow iris, a really bright yellow iris. Sort of like The Mummy, the movie. I don't know if you've seen the latest one. It's a terrible movie, but some of the aesthetics in there looks pretty cool. So we're gonna do exactly that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new layer and then change the blend mode to color. Then I am gonna call this the iris color. Next, I'm gonna go over here and then select a bright yellow color. I'm gonna zoom in a bit, go into the iris and just paint it yellow. And the same on this side, even though it's not gonna show very well. So it's not bright enough with the iris, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new adjustment layer, curves, brighten it, Control I or Command I to invert the mask. And I'm going to call this iris brightness. Next, I'm going to use the brush tool, set my flow to 10% and zoom in on the iris, make sure I'm on the mask, and then just go over it. Same thing here. Now we got to make the white parts of the eye black. So what I'm going to do is create a new layer for this black eye. Come over here, select a black color using the brush tool, and then set it to 100%. And I'm just going to brush out these parts here. Now we're not going to be too concerned whether we're covering up the eye. That's fine because we're going to mask it out later. And then we're going to go select new mask, go over to the brush tool and select the black color or X to invert, and then I'm just going to brush out those bits there. Bring back the hair in, so using the mask in a very small brush size, I'll bring the hair strands back in. Same thing here, go to black eye and just unmask or mask out. Whoops, also we should bring out this catch light as well. So I'm just going to brighten the catch light here. So to sell the effect, we're going to darken around the eyelids and all that, so it gives it a nice drop off. So to do that, we're going to create another curves adjustment layer. Darken it, Control I or Command I to invert the mask. Go to the brush tool and set to 10%, and then we're just going to go over the eyelids. Reason why we're doing this is if you paint it black straight away, it'll look too fake. The drop off's too hard, so we've got to ease it in by making it black around that area. You might even want to go back to the mask and then just lightly go over that part there. Whoops, forgot to rename it, so I'm just going to rename this as black eye curve. Make sure I'm not overdoing it, so I'm just gonna go to this and feather it out a little bit. Change that maybe to 5%. Just gradient and feather it out. That's what we're trying to do here. Now, I think it would be weird if it's Selena's eye is just black and the doll's not, so let's just make that the same as well. So again, I'm just going to create a new layer, call this iris. I'm going to put this in the group doll to keep it separate to Selena's, and I'm going to go to the brush tool, 100% everything, and the same yellow. Make sure to change the blending mode to color and just go over the iris. And again, new layer. I'm going to call this black eye. Go to the brush tool, select black, go over it. And you maybe want to mask out the bits to bring her hair back in. So again, with a fine brush. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some blood to it. Basically, I'm going to add a bit of blood maybe dripping out of Selena's mouth and maybe out of the eye for the doll or something. So I'm going to go under the Selena folder and I'm going to go new layer. So to achieve the blood effect, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my brush panel and I'm going to select this brush that I made. So for this tutorial, I already made a brush for you to use. It is for free, so you can just download it. I'll leave a link in the description below. Basically, it's in multiply mode. What multiply does is the more you draw on it, the darker it gets. So let's select a color that's dark red. Don't forget to rename your layer to blood or something meaningful to you. Then I am gonna go use the lasso tool, feather to 0. Then what I'm gonna do in here is select and mask, select overlay so that we can see it. I'm just gonna go feather maybe 2 pixels and contrast maybe to 30%, click OK. Now I'm gonna go to the brush tool with the blood brush and we're just gonna paint on there. Then we're going to go to the blend mode and select soft light. Now it doesn't sell unless you're also putting some blood on the lips as well. So I'm going to add just that on the lip. So I'm just going to go 50% flow. Same thing on the doll, so I'm going to create a new layer, call it blood, using the brush that I'm providing, lasso tool, and then we're just going to draw something remotely similar, and same thing, we're just going to feather by 1 pixel because it is relatively small, and we're going to increase the contrast to really refine the edges. Brush tool, using the brush I'm providing, dark red, I'm going to paint in there, and then we're going to gouge and blur this maybe by 1 pixel. I think what will look cool as well is if we add a bit of like a Joker's smiley face lipstick around the dolls. So what I'm going to do is create a new layer, call it lipstick under the doll group. Next, I'm going to change the blend mode to color. Select a normal brush. Come over here, select a darker red. Go to brush, 100% opacity and 10% flow, and do multiply as the mode, same as the blood. So we're just gonna go over the lips, essentially go really wonky with that one, be really bad at it, and really refined here. Now you want to do a terrible job at it on purpose because Joker's lipsticks are pretty terrible. Next, we're gonna change her skin color to a bit more, something more gray or pale, like a zombie. So what I'm gonna do is create an adjustment layer, hue saturation, select red, because predominantly skin is red, then bump saturation, and slide across so we're picking up everything. Now I'm gonna bring that to 0, just gonna slide this across, and that looks pretty cool. Maybe if we went 130, and then slide the saturation down. There, that looks pretty good. Now, because this layer is above everything, we want to bring it down so that the blood doesn't turn out black or the irises. So we'll just bring it above the background HSL. Next, we're going to Control I to invert the mask, and then we'll go to our brush, select white, make that 10%, normal, and just soft round. And then we're just going to mask in the colors. Now again, because she's wearing white, it really doesn't matter, and we're only touching the reds, which means we could go as fast and loose as we want to. All right, so that's pretty much it. But to really sell the eerie effect, we're gonna add a bit of fog to the background. So what I've done is I've gone on Google and searched for fog brushes Photoshop, and then I've just went and clicked on the first link, downloaded one. But you know what, I'll also leave another link below for you to download the fog tool. And then basically we'll go down here. I'm going to select a new layer, call this fog, and then I'm going to select white. Set my flow to 100% and then stamp once. Next, we're going to create another layer, call it fog right, and then select another one. And I like how it wraps around, like the curve of it. So I'm going to make it wrap around her and stamp it here. And then I'm going to create another layer, call this fog back left. Again, just going through, selecting something that you might find interesting. Maybe stamp that one there. Create a new layer, fog back right, and maybe just stamp this one here. All right, so we're gonna create a mask for each of these. And then on the mask, select the brush tool, go down to 10%. Select a normal brush, such as the soft round, and then select black. And we're just gonna brush out that yucky edge. Same thing here, gonna brush out that really obvious edge. With any Photoshop, if you really want to sell any sort of composites and stuff, usually you want to add a bit of dimensionality. So we hide stuff behind, say, the subject, or we put it in front of subject. In this case, because I want the fog to be on the ground, or usually the fog is on the ground, we want it to appear behind the subject and the toy. So I'm just going to mask that out. And there we have it. We have the before and after. Now I'm just gonna go and refine this a bit more and basically just go through, maybe add a bit of color or take a bit of color, adjust the colors a little bit to my liking. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how I do my Halloween edits for specifically this shot. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more, make sure to hit the subscribe button and smash that bell button for notifications. If you're not already following me on Instagram, it is @_melly.k. That is where I post most of my work. And be sure to leave a comment below telling me what you want to learn, or whether there's further things you want to know, or what do you think about the video even. Anyways, peace out and stay mellow.